If you could create your own world, would it look like this? Mine neither. I still think it is possible to find peace in this modern world, but sometimes it just feels so challenging. I have identified 5 factors that drain the most peace and calm from my daily life. I'm sure you can relate to many of these, but luckily I also got some ways to avoid them now. The first one is distractions. We do with our phones so many things in our daily life these days, and I don't think that's necessarily a problem, but the problem are the things that take you away from the present moment constantly, like these notifications, little bell sounds, something happening, somebody sends you a message, or some application tells you to buy something or do something. And especially if you're like working, it takes so long time to get back to kind of the flow or whatever you were focusing on. And related to these distractions, in my opinion, are advertisements. And here I'm not talking about, for example, your favorite YouTube creator suggesting you a product that have helped them, because most likely you are kind of like the target audience, it would help you as well. I'm talking about when you walk on the street and you see so many of these flashing lights and billboard like advertisement there and whatever, all the time changing, and most likely you are not even the target audience. They are completely irrelevant to you, but when you see tens or even hundreds of these every day, they get into your subconscious mind and you start to feel distracted from what is really important to you. Social comparison and kind of this distorted reality are something related very much to the distractions that we have in our daily lives. Like, for example, me as a creator, I have realized now that I can make my life look to you anything that I just want to. I mean, one example that now I'm here in the forest, I could say that, yeah, I live here just like 20 meters that way. There's my like little hut or cabin, but I don't live here. I just like nature, forest so much, and I come here to film very often. You start to believe people are living these lives when they're showing it on, for example, social media and TV. You see these very polished versions of people and their lives. And that distracts you from your own path. What do you really want to do? So what has been my solution for this is getting a better self-awareness. Like, what are your needs? What do you really want in life? The next one is information overload. These days we have a constant 24/7 access to information. Like before, you just bought the newspaper and you read it once like through and then that's it. Tomorrow you get the next one, but you don't get them all the time. But now, for example, with news, they have websites and it's probably every minute like a new piece of news coming. And especially we know what news are like these days. What are the headlines? They're so like triggering, especially like fear in you or in us, that can be sometimes so toxic. And I have to admit, to this one, I haven't really found yet like a solution that would be permanent. I have tried a lot of things, and I think, for example, deleting Instagram was a good thing for me, because now I don't anymore see so much like what other people are doing with their lives, and I can just focus on mine. But still, like, I wanna consume the information, the content that will help me, because I enjoy that a lot. So I'm not like moving in the middle of nowhere and disconnecting from internet and electricity and whatever. I don't think that that's a great solution for your mental health, unless that is something that you want to do. But yeah, I think it's like enjoying these non-digital activities as well, that not everything has to be always online. The next one is social expectations, kind of this 24/7 availability. Somebody sends you a message and you're supposed to answer it like within the next 30 minutes, hour, 2 hours, something. I have now in my life met people who don't care about this. They have their phone on, I don't know, like airplane mode or turned off or something for so many hours a day. It might take them like 24 hours to reply to a message that I sent. And I find that so admirable during this modern era that we are living in. But at least for me, kind of the problem is using the technology all the time. I started by watching something cool that I like, and then it's just me continuously doing that, and I start to feel so like overstimulated, and then I'm looking for like the next dopamine hit, for example, from a nice entertaining YouTube video or something like that. And then that's like the vicious cycle that sometimes I go into. Now, of course, I have more self-awareness, so I realize when I'm starting to go into that, but it used to be a huge problem for me, and I think it is for many in our society. And then because of this, so many people burn out so quickly and they need to have these long resets or recovery periods, which I think is good. Everybody should have those like 7-day resets, like, I don't know, every year or something. But when you need one every month, then you realize that, okay, maybe there's something that you need to change in your habits. And yeah, the solution to this, in my opinion, is just keep your phone on like airplane mode, do not disturb mode, something that will not give you the notifications. And then you start to feel like, oh, I need to reply to this email or something, because you don't even get them. You don't even read them. The next one is noise and light pollution. And I have to say, I live in Finland. We have probably very low amount of this compared to many like major cities around the world, but still I find this to be disturbing my peace. Like, I don't mind the sounds of the city, for example, on Friday nights, Saturday nights, but like on Sunday mornings when I just want to relax and there are so many cars going and trains and everything, it starts to feel like this is not where I want to live in. And I want to live in a place that actually has the peace, the calm. And I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm now here in the forest, because there's no sounds. There's just a little bit of wind and the birds. But if there's constant like noise around me, it's so hard to get into that peaceful mental state. And talking about the light pollution, like the problem for me is like these street lights that are exactly directed like to our living room. When I want to chill at the sofa, they really bother me. So the solution to this is, of course, go in nature, or if you're in a city, have like these noise cancelling headphones with some like very light bird sounds in there, and that will solve the problem, at least temporarily. The next one that I find hard in this fast world is the diversity of choices. From food choices, what do you want to eat, what do you want to wear, what do you want to do today? And then like these bigger, very grand things like career choices, for example. Now there are like hundreds, if not thousands of options you to do. And I think this is an amazing thing, that we have so many options in our lives, that we are not so limited and we have to like struggle in our lives to survive basically. But I think that it can cause so much stress, overwhelm, and like this mental fatigue. At least for me, it has been like that. Because I don't know, what if I don't make the right choice? Like, it might not matter if I'm cooking a dinner and then I put, I don't know, too much salt somewhere and then it's not that good. It's fine. But what if I spend like 5 years, 6 years studying a degree and then I realized the first year in the job that I hate this, I dislike this very much. So at least I feel like I operate better, I feel better if I have just a little bit of like limited option or simplicity in my path, that I cannot go everywhere. I have to go this way, do this first at least, and then I can go to some other route. So what I'm doing kind of to solve this is write down all my options and then prioritizing what do I want to do more and what do I want to do less, and then limiting myself intentionally. Like, for example, having one phone. When this breaks, then I can spend the money to buy a new one, or one camera, one career choice as well. Like this YouTube channel, Sunny Kind Journey, for me, I have decided that this is what I want to do. I'm not looking elsewhere for other options. I'm kind of locking myself in to this path and see what happens. If you found this video useful, I'm sure you will also find good tips from this one. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to stay kind and meaningful in your own beautiful journey. I will continue my hike here in nature. See you.